What is up, guys? Stan here from Rocky Creek. I am alive. I'm not dead. I've been gone for a while. It's been I don't know. Excuse me, Bruce. I'm trying to record. Thanks. No, so it's been kind of crazy over the last month or so. We had our wrestling season going on pretty much since about end of October. Bruce, can you? Thanks. But anyways, guys, after grinding it out, we finished our season up. We went undefeated in terms of regular matchups. And then our program has 3 tournaments throughout the year, and I'm glad to say that we won every tournament. It was a great hard-working group of kids, but they definitely got a lot of character building still to do and some discipline that they're going to need. But overall, they did well, and we'll keep working with them for years to come. So that is done, which is going to free up a ton of time for me moving forward. Thankfully, the sport that I coach the most is during the winter months, which is a slower time generally here on the Homestead, so that's good. But enough about wrestling season. We also have had just the bug sickness galore here within our home. I keep faring okay with it, but between the kids and Mrs. Rocky Creek, we had flu-like stuff early on around Thanksgiving holidays. Christmas time, they all got the COVID for the first time. And then just as everybody was starting to get better from sickness, I had to have a surgery that was already preset. It was a same day quick surgery, nothing big. My health is fine. But I did have a particular project I wanted to start out my video with coming back to you all, but I think I'm gonna need about another week to kind of recover. So I can't do a whole lot of heavy lifting or stuff like that right now. I really wanna listen to what they said, take this week, take it a little bit easy, and then hopefully we can get back to some really good hard work that I need to get done very soon. But I figured since I can't do a lot today, I did want to give you all an update because as we're approaching spring, a lot of people are starting to plan for their chickens, upgrades maybe to their chickens, or if you're a first-time chicken owner, how you're going to do your setup. And I can tell you the number one thing that I have added to my flock that I wish I had done much earlier is our automatic chicken coop door. But make sure you buy a quality chicken coop door. There's plenty of them out there, but there's also a lot of no good ones. We're almost a year into the one we've had now, so I want to give you a quick sort of update on it, and we'll talk about a few other new things we got going on with the chickens. So let's go. All right, guys, so if you're new with us, this is our automatic chicken coop door, which is from OMLET. There are multiples of them. This is the only OMLET product that I personally have. We purchased this door. We're not affiliated in any way, and OMLET hasn't provided us anything for our update on this video. Now, if you're new with us too, the options, we have a couple extra options. Well, really just one extra option on our particular door is that we do have an internal light, which I'll show you here once we go to get our eggs. And we chose to mount it horizontally. I believe this door you can mount it either direction. We prefer the horizontal direction on it, and it's worked out really well. Our goose is still able to get through this door as well, but it is a tight squeeze for the goose, but the goose does fit through it as well. As I said, we're just shy of a year. I think we're at about 10 months with this, and here's the control panel right here. And you got 2 different options that you can do with this door. You can set it to a light setting to where it'll open and close based off of the amount of light outside, or you can put it on a time setting where it closes at certain times of the day and opens at certain times of the day. We started out with it on a light setting, which worked really well during the spring and summer months when we first had it. But as we got into the winter, it started to cause us a little bit of an issue. The issue surrounded this girl, we're not sure what she is yet. I think it's a girl, but it started with her. She's the last one to go in the coop every night because she's our guard goose, and she really does make sure everybody gets in the coop at night. Well, in the winter months, it gets dark much earlier, and on some occasions, she was not making it into the coop before it was dark and that the door had shut. Now, I very much suspected that it was our setting was our issue with it. And so I came out here, and it only took me about a minute, and I was able to switch it over. And now I have this door shutting at 7:30 at night and opening at 6:30 in the morning. And I changed this about a week ago. And since then, the goose has not been left out any nights. I still come out here to make sure everybody went in, which you'll think that kind of defeats the purpose of the door. But really, for the longest time, I wasn't coming out anymore because it was good to go until just we had a couple week stretch where about every other day, every 3 days or so, I was finding the goose out, and I really thought that was our issue. And since I've done it, issue seems to be solved. So I really think that was it. So I will probably have to readjust my timing as we get into the days, because it is starting to stay a little bit lighter, a little bit longer as the days goes. But so far, we have taken care of that. So that dual option has really worked out. This control panel operates off of a battery. I believe OMLET advertises that the batteries will last for 6 months. Can I help you, Starfire? I will say that we made it just shy of 8 months. I think it was 7 months and 3 weeks before we had to change the batteries. And that was with the batteries that came standard in this right now. So they definitely, their 6 month estimation of battery, in my opinion, is very, very generous and reasonable, because we got nearly 8 months out of a set of batteries. I believe it's 4 AA batteries, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 6, I'd have to remember. But anyways, I know it's definitely AA batteries. But in my opinion, if I only got to change it once to twice a year, that's pretty impressive. So we've been very pleased. The internal light's still working. No issues with that. Really, overall, I've been extremely happy with this door. It is one of the more expensive doors, but I think this might be an example of what you pay for is what you get. But very pleased with this automatic chicken coop door. Install wasn't hard. So if you're thinking about one as you get into spring, this might be a very good option for you to look into. Now that we've talked about the door, let's see if we got any eggs today. I see one. Looks like maybe just one. Oh. Just one pretty kind of greenish blue egg. For those that maybe haven't been with us for our new coop door install, there's the light I was talking about. It's just above the coop door. And all it does is it cuts on several minutes before the door shuts, and it helps draw those chickens in and let them know it's time to get inside. So guys, while I was out, I did keep up with our Facebook and Instagram and some of those social media platforms. But one thing I shared on there, for those that maybe don't watch it, is that we have gotten a new type of chicken feed that we're planning to continue to use. I purchased 1 bag of it about 2 weeks ago. The chickens have really liked it. I've been very pleased with it. It's from a local source. I say local source, it's a product that comes from about 2 hours away, but I found a local distributor of that product, and it's a non-GMO type feed. And for those of you that have been with us for a long time, you may remember we used to buy all of our feed from a local mill that was very close to us and was very affordable, and most of their ingredients were locally sourced from within the state or nearby states, and we were very pleased. And I don't know if it was related to COVID or what, but after over 100 years of operation, that mill shut down, unfortunately. And over the last several months, I've kind of been lost at where to get my chicken feed. And I kept finding this company called Sunrise Farms, and I really liked what it sounded like. And I was debating on maybe doing a once-a-month trip that's a couple hours away and just really loading up, or a couple months. But then I just kind of really couldn't commit to that. And thankfully, we found a distributor that's within about 20 minutes from us, and it's been a huge difference. So I'll let you see what that feed looks like right now. So I actually went out today and picked up some more. So this barrel's pretty empty. I got to reload it up. But the wife and kids went with me to go get it. But let me get a handful and show you it up close. So this is what the feed looks like up close. And compared to the basic granules of our old feed, I've been very impressed with it. I can look at this feed and tell what's kind of in here. You know, I can see the corn, I can see the wheat, I can see, you know, the soybeans, I can see the sunflower seeds. I think there's some kelp minerals in here. It's a lot of much better ingredients than what I was buying, and it smells fresh. It reminds me of the feed I got from the mill. You know, it kind of has like a nutty kind of scent to it. It's the best I can describe. Versus a lot of what I was buying at the store in between kind of sometimes almost had like a sour smell at times. I don't know what that could have been, but to me this just seems much more fresh. Now I had a pan of the old feed out here, and if you saw that Instagram video, you got to see what I'm talking about. But so we had old feed in one pan, and I put the new feed in a pan. And when I did so, literally every chicken ate from the new feed with the exception of one of the roosters. That guy right there. And I'm pretty sure he didn't come over because Bruce would have probably beat him up. But since I've been putting this feed out here, it wasn't uncommon that at the end of a day, I'd still have probably about half the feed in the bowl. But I've been feeding the same ration of feed with this new feed each day. And honestly, by the end of the day, their pans are completely empty. So they're definitely eating a lot more of the actual feed than what they were with the conventional store-bought feed. Since I'm talking about new feed, some of you are probably thinking, I wonder if he bought the new feed, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff about a conspiracy that the store-bought feed or large-scale manufacturers are kind of like messing with the feed to keep chickens from laying because of the egg shortage or price of eggs. And so here's my opinion on that. I really try my best on this channel not to get into politics per se, or into like conspiracy type stuff. You know, I am a human. I have my own personal opinions on stuff. I have my own personal beliefs of what I believe in, but I really try my best to keep this channel fun, family friendly, positive, and about trying to inspire people who have no knowledge of homesteading whatsoever, just as I did, and to where they can learn from me as just average Joe to average Joe. And so here's my opinion on this feed thing, since I personally have changed feed. And no, it had nothing to do with the supposed reports of store-bought feed being an issue. I have always been somebody who likes to source from locally if I can. And so for me, that was number one. And number two was, to me, getting sourced locally, you can talk to the person directly, you can ask questions, and hopefully you can determine that you're giving a much better quality product to your birds. Better quality to them equals better quality to us, because we're going to ingest their eggs, and or, you know, if we harvest any chickens here or there. So have I seen a difference in egg production by chance since there's such a conspiracy? I've seen technically maybe a slight increase, but I don't say that I credit that to the feed. So what I mean by that is we had a couple months of no laying by our hens. That's the first time we've had that, but my hens are around 3 to 4 years old. We have a very much of a plan and goal to add to our flock, understanding that they're getting old, and so that's not uncommon. So I'm not going to blame a feed company for that. Here in the last month, I started getting 1 to 2 eggs per day with the old feed. Well, then I switched to the new feed after I was getting 1 to 2 eggs for several weeks, and probably about 3 or 4 days after the new feed, I did get 2 days of 4 eggs. And I thought, maybe there's something to this. But then I went back, temperatures got cold, weather was kind of bad, there wasn't as much sunshine, which sunshine is a big contributor, and we were right back down to 2 eggs. And then we had like a 3 egg day, like a 2 egg day, and we were hovering right around 2 to 3 eggs a day. And then as you can see today, it's 1 o'clock. I may get 1 more egg through the day, but like today I only had 1 egg. And they're eating lots of the new feed. I've even given them some food scraps. So I personally, being 100% honest with you, who used the commercial feed for a couple months in between the mill closing down and getting this other feed, you know, I feel like the egg production I got from my ladies was as expected. Maybe the new feed maybe increased or put 1 or 2 chickens into laying more so than others, but you can see I got a lot more than 4 chickens here. So I don't think, in my experience, that there's something to this conspiracy. I think, you know, obviously better nutrition you give your birds, the better quantity of eggs that you will probably get them to produce. So I don't know if it's technically commercial grade or just feeding better quality. But I do think that there's maybe a minimal impact, but nothing that I'm going to get on this conspiracy wagon with. I'm not saying anything bad about those who believe it, who really think it's tried and true. Some people swear they've had experiences that showed otherwise. And if that was your problem, I'm glad that you fixed it. But I just don't want some of you who maybe are getting into starting chickens to completely write off commercial feeds that are available at the big box store, because that may be all you have access to at a reasonable amount of money. So just do your research, make a good judgment call for yourself, and as long as you're pleased with what you're getting and that you've done your due diligence, I think you'll be just fine. Egg production or not, all I know is that from a taste standpoint or an intrigue standpoint, they seem to really like the new feed. They like it, I like it, I'm happy then. Looks like Miss Madison's come down to hang out with her little chickens now. Well, I guess she saw me out here and decided she wanted to come and hang out with the crew. And of course, who's the first one to come see her? The one and only Starfire. Well guys, this is just a short, quick little video. Wanted to give you a little update on the chicken coop door. That I do think, you know, if you're going to be upgrading your chicken flock or you're new to getting chickens, and if you were to ask my opinion, what is the one thing you would have gotten now that you've had some experience with chickens for several years that you would have done differently, would have been, I would have gotten that door probably a little bit sooner. It is a little pricey. It takes a little bit to start your flock up, you know, so if you don't do it in the first year, I'd recommend that be your kind of your one big thing next year. And that's how I usually do my stuff around here, is I try to add one big thing each year so it's not such a hit financially all at one time. But guys, I'm just glad to be back with you all. Hopefully here after another week of resting up, we can get back into the nitty gritty, but I'm at least glad I'm out here doing some stuff. I'm glad that everybody's, excuse me. I'm glad that everybody is starting to get healthy in my house, and hopefully we can start getting back into a normal groove since things are starting to settle down. So guys, I'm glad to be back with y'all. Appreciate y'all sticking with us through this long stretch of time. Hope everybody's doing well. If you're planning to start up a flock for the first time or anything homesteading related or garden related, I'm not an expert. As I said, I'm average Joe to average Joe, but if you need any help or advice or just want my opinions on something, reach out to us, either comment below, send us an email, reach out to us on social media, and I'll be sure to do the best I can to help y'all out. So guys, appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. We'll see you here very soon on one of our next episodes. Thanks guys.